Hello, everyone. I'm Nick Eatman here, joined by Stephen Jones, Cowboys Chief Operating Officer. And Stephen, let's get right to it. We got another great matchup going on here with the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're undefeated. It seems like, when you got a situation with the quarterbacks, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit, but the road just doesn't get any easier with Pittsburgh coming to town.
No, Pittsburgh is certainly a great football team this year. They're, like you said, the only undefeated team. They got a great coach in Coach Mike Tomlin. Got some great veteran players, starting with the quarterback with Ben Roethlisberger. Certainly, they've always played great defense there in Pittsburgh, and it's no different this year. They're playing at a very high level, and we're going to have our hands full. And as usual, as we know, those Steeler fans travel too. So I know they're trying to get in the building and get to be a part of this as well. But last week I think we really showed improvement, and on the defensive side of the ball, certainly we're going to need to improve again. And we got our challenges there at the quarterback position again this week. But I feel like we've had a great week of practice, and we're ready to go to work and win a football game.
Let's talk about the defense. Like you said, you saw a lot of improvements there. What specifically? Was it taking the ball away? Was that one, or is it just an aggressive nature? Some of those fumbles were really like off the blitz.
Well, I think it starts with that. I mean, anytime you can win the turnover margin, you give yourself a chance. Now, we didn't get it done against Philadelphia, but certainly that was a big part of it. But, the other thing, we didn't make the mistakes early in terms of getting ourselves behind, so we were able to really use some of our edge players, our pressure players, as you said, had some good quarterback hits, some good sacks. I think really the defense forced the issue and caused the turnover. So that was a really big thing. And then, after about the first series or two, I think we really dialed in on our run game in terms of stopping the run. And early on, it looked a little suspect, but I think we were able to tighten that down. And we've just got to continue to try to eliminate turnovers on the offensive side of the ball, and I think good things are going to happen for us.
I think when you look at a guy like Trayvon Diggs, he's a talented rookie, and you see that game, you see the talent, you see the rookie mistakes at times, but it seems like he's got a terrible memory. That's what you need as a cornerback, and he just keeps coming back.
That is, and he's going to learn. I mean, he's going to be better with his eyes. Certainly, he's very confident in his ability to go make plays. One of the things we loved about him coming out of Alabama were his ball skills, and you saw that in action there against Philadelphia, getting the 2 picks, tracking the long ball. Of course, made a great break on what would have been a pick 6 had he been able to come up with it. But, there's just some little things he'll continue to work on. I think he sees and wants to be a great player, and I think he's going to be one. I think he's going to do everything it takes to be a great player. And as he does that and he eliminates some of these bigger plays against him, he's going to be right there at the top. He's got great size, great length, great speed, great ball skills. He's what you want to draw up for a cornerback.
Well, let's flip to the quarterback position, like you said, and obviously this will be, I think we researched the stats, first time since 1994 you've had 3 consecutive weeks with 3 different quarterbacks. Now, that was Aikman, Garrett, Rodney Peete, a little bit different this week. Talk about who it might be and just like what is going to be the case when it's Cooper Rush or Garrett Gilbert. What are you guys factoring in with those 2?
Well, we're just looking at how they work this week, how they handle the huddle, how they handle the game plan. We want to take that all in. And, of course, there's always the competitive issues of, the opposing team not knowing who they're going to go up against. So, looking at the full week of practice, we'll see how they did, and then make a decision based on that. And, I know we'll come up with a good one and one that gives us the best chance to win. So, and at the same time, DiNucci, it was great for him to get that, that type of reps against a really good football team in the Eagles. Certainly, we had a good visit with him. We've got a lot of confidence in him. He's just going to need some more work before he's ready to get back in there.
And a lot of comparisons, obviously, with him and, being a small school guy to Tony Romo. Obviously, Tony didn't play his first 3 years. What kind of goes into that decision of, do we try to get DiNucci more reps, or we need to hold back a little bit here and let him look from the sideline?
I'd start with the fact you think about whether it's any type of rookie quarterback that comes in and plays like a Dak. he had all the mini camps, all the quarterback schools. He ended up, because of the injuries, getting a lot of first-team reps in training camp. And then had the preseason games to really sharpen up his skills and understand the offense. And, of course, DiNucci didn't get any of that. So, I think Mike's a big believer that you need to go slow with these guys. Obviously, we didn't necessarily have that opportunity when we had the, Dak go down and then the quick injury with Andy. We had to go with him. But I think we've got two quarterbacks in here, that have been around the league for a while, and I think they're ready for their opportunity.
And speaking of Andy, do you anticipate, I know it's hard to look down the road at all on this, but you anticipate coming after the bye that he will be your quarterback here for the stretch of the season? Well,
obviously, between the concussion and, what's going on with his virus, we'll have to monitor that. I think he's really feeling good in terms of his where he is with his concussion, and then he's working through the virus part of this, and that's the hope, that he can come back after the bye and hopefully be ready. But we'll have to just take that day to day, week to week.
Obviously, Jerry's been asked about it. You've been asked about it a lot in interviews about where the record is, and then do you play younger players? Obviously, there's a draft pick out there. How do you not look too far down the road? You're also trying to win games now. You've got Zach Martin, Sean Lee, LP. It would be a discredit to them to just say, oh, we're going to look at next year. But you also want to play young guys too. Is that just a tough balance?
I don't think so right now. I mean, we're in the NFC East, which is right now, I don't think any of the teams are playing where they'd like to play in terms of their record. And, we played the first place team at their home field last week, and it was right down to the wire in terms of who was going to win that game. So, you get a guy like Andy Dalton back, you get Zach Martin back, you keep working hard on the defensive side of the ball to really hone in on what we're doing there. And, we're competing to win the East. And until we see that that's not going to happen, we're going to keep firing at them.
All right, perfect. Thanks so much for joining us, Stephen Jones. It's Cowboys Chief Operating Officer. We'll see you next time on DallasCowboys.com.